Open your eyes. A bright light is shining on you from the ceiling. Now look around. But what you see and the world you fell asleep in are completely different. You feel dizzy. You don't know where you are, who you are, or even how old you are. Then you remember that you died in 2025. But now they tell you it's 1,000 years later and you've woken up again. But how is that possible? The story is that a German startup called Tomorrow Bio claims it can freeze your body after death and bring you back to life in the future when science has advanced. But how real can this really be? What are the actual chances that we can wake up and be alive again? Do you truly think this is just a science fiction scam? Let me indeed start with a few important key questions. What exactly is cryonics or body freezing? Who can be frozen? If I want to put it simply, I should ask you if you've ever had a refrigerator at home. Well, what do you usually keep in the fridge? Fruits, vegetables, and other food items, right? Now imagine a world where people are frozen with the hope that they can be revived in the future. It sounds like science fiction movies. But this is no longer just a science fiction story. It's a new reality. That is, with the help of technology, human bodies are frozen with the hope that one day they can return to life. Alright, now imagine the final moments of your life have arrived. Your family is standing by your hospital bed. But some things are different here. Instead of saying goodbye to your loved ones for the last time, a medical team from the startup Tomorrow Bio is there to freeze your body as soon as your heart stops. This Berlin-based company is working on a strange yet exciting idea: preserving the body after death with the hope of being revived in the future. Well, surely right now you're wondering how much this would cost, right? How about if I say $200,000? It's true that individually, $200,000 is a lot of money for many people. Because with this amount you could buy a nice house in some areas, own a luxury car, or even live comfortably for years. But just think for a moment. If this method really works, and you can wake up again in the future, maybe it's worth it. Because essentially, you're buying a time travel ticket that could take you to a world where medical treatments have become very advanced. And besides, some specific surgeries and life-saving treatments also have costs of several $100,000. So if someone is willing to spend such an amount to save their life, they might be convinced to do this as well. I mean to say that some billionaires and celebrities are pursuing life extension through other methods and are investing millions of dollars in biological research. Compared to those costs, a couple of $100,000 for freezing the body is not considered a significant amount at all. Therefore, many wealthy and famous people have also shown interest in the cryonics system. Peter Thiel, co-founder of PayPal, Paris Hilton, the famous celebrity and model, Steve Aoki, the renowned DJ, Seth MacFarlane, actor and creator of the series Family Guy, and Ray Kurzweil, the famous author and futurist. Now, what do you think? Are you willing to spend this much to live longer? Be sure to write your opinion in the comments. Well, let's delve a bit deeper into this topic. First of all, let's start with where this idea even came from. Emil Kędziura, one of the founders of Tomorrow Bio and a former cancer researcher, decided to change his path when he saw that progress in treating diseases was moving very slowly, and the result is what you see now: body freezing with the hope of recovery and living again. Now, how is this done and what are the steps? Well, when someone dies, the medical team of this startup immediately transfers the body to a special ambulance that is designed specifically for this purpose. Then a series of chemicals including dimethyl sulfoxide or DMSO and ethylene glycol or cryoprotectant show replace the blood and water inside the body's cells. This solution essentially acts like an antifreeze and prevents the formation of ice crystals in the cells, which can cause serious damage to the brain and other tissues. This process is essentially called vitrification. In the next step, the body is gradually cooled. First, the body temperature is reduced to approximately minus 130 degrees Celsius. This is done carefully on a bed filled with dry ice. After this stage, the body is gently placed in a special chamber and then transferred to a large tank containing liquid nitrogen, where the temperature is about minus 196 degrees Celsius. Interestingly, for added security and safety, the body is carefully kept upside down so that if one day the liquid nitrogen ever leaks, the brain remains safely frozen. These frozen bodies are also stored in a special facility in Switzerland until the day scientists can reverse this process and revive the individual. But what does science say? The idea of body freezing, known scientifically as cryonics, was first introduced in the 1960s. The main goal of this process is to preserve cells and tissues in such a way that no permanent damage is done to the tissues. However, so far, no human has been revived after being frozen. James Bedford, an American psychology professor, was the first person to officially use this method after his death in 1967. His body is still in a frozen state at the Alcor Institute in the state of Arizona, USA. Of course, experiments have been conducted on a type of microscopic worm known as C. elegans. In these experiments, the worms were revived after being frozen. On the other hand, in 2023, scientists were able to revive a mouse kidney after it had been frozen for 100 days. Therefore, this technology can currently be applied in fields such as organ transplants and the long-term preservation of tissues or organs in the medical and scientific fields. However, we have not yet had any successful cases with humans. Clive Cohen, a neuroscientist from King's College London, has highly and vehemently criticized this idea, stating that there is absolutely no evidence that a complex being like a human can be revived after cryopreservation, which is the process of preserving cells, tissues, or organs at very low temperatures. Therefore, this idea is completely ridiculous. But these criticisms have not stopped the ambitions of the companies Tomorrow and Bio, because they are truly hopeful that one day, when science has advanced, both the incurable and terminal illness of the patient will be treated, and this process will become reversible. Therefore, it doesn't matter how long it takes, even if it happens 50, 100, or even 1,000 years from now. As long as the body is preserved, it can remain in this state indefinitely. Well, why do you think experts and scientists don't consider this method very successful? Perhaps because this method comes with its own specific problems and risks. For example, the possibility of brain damage is the most important factor that needs to be examined. Because even if the body can withstand freezing, there is a high likelihood that the brain, and especially memory and memories, will not remain intact. Moreover, even if this method is successful, an uncertain future still awaits humans. Because if one day they are revived, the world might have completely changed. And it might have become a terrifying place. Additionally, since this technology is only applied to individuals after death, imagine that you, while still alive, have signed up for this process. What guarantee is there that this company will still exist, say, 50 years from now? In any case, it's interesting to know that despite all these issues, so far 3 or 4 humans and 5 pets have been frozen, and over 700 people have registered for this process. Most of these individuals are under 60 years old and are paying for it through life insurance. Of course, everyone does this with a specific goal in mind. For example, A 51-year-old woman named Louise Harrison says that for her, it's like a ticket to time travel. If I wake up one day, I'm curious to see how the world has changed. As I said, many people are against this idea. Some say, what if you return and realize you don't know anyone in this world, or even if the world has become a terrifying place? This is a gamble with a winning chance very close to zero. But Emil Kenjiura, one of the founders of Tomorrow Bio, says that this is a personal choice. Some people spend $200,000 on a luxury yacht, while others spend it for a second chance at life. However, as always, when we are dealing with an unknown subject or advanced technology, many conspiracy theories arise about it. There are also various opinions on this matter. For example, some believe that this project could be a cover for secret government research. This means that perhaps the company, under the guise of saving humans and eternal life, has other hidden agendas. Another theory is that future governments might only revive certain individuals, not everyone who has been frozen. In other words, there might be a selective process for reviving people in the future. Then what happens to the money you spent and, more importantly, the hope you had for surviving in the future? However, some say that even if the body is revived, consciousness might not return. In this case, the body might just breathe like a zombie, and that's when the world might turn into a dark place. What do you think? Do you believe this is just an impossible dream, or can it be considered a method for survival? Be sure to write your opinion in the comments. I want to see how many people support this idea. Considering what we've discussed, if we want to summarize, cryonics, or the preservation of the body, has pushed the boundaries of medical science and created a new challenge in our understanding of life and death. Therefore, maybe one day something that seems impossible now will become entirely feasible and possible, thus creating a second chance at life. But who knows? Maybe one day, immortality will also become possible with this method, because science is advancing every day and nothing is impossible anymore.